I want to talk about the differences between boxing gloves and MMA gloves, and I think there's a few myths floating around about where you hit in boxing gloves and where you don't. So let's look at the hand position in a boxing glove and where the thumb is. The thumb is in a fixed position, so I can't move that thumb, I can't tuck the thumb round like I would in an MMA glove. So this position now, I'm going to take, let's look where the glove is there and my thumb is poking forward. So if I do that in this hand, relaxed, my hand, that's the position I've got. In this glove now, my hand is sort of open like that and the thumb is in this position here. Now when I punch, my hand closes. So what happens is the thumb ends up sticking out further than the actual knuckles, them two knuckles at the top. So I cannot land with them two knuckles. Now when I turn the fist sideways now, you can see that even with this thumb out, these three knuckles at the bottom, I can punch with them three knuckles just like I would punching out like this. If I punch like that, I'm punching out with the thumb in the same position. So when I punch like this vertically with the thumb out, I'm still punching. You cannot punch with two knuckles in the boxing gloves because of the thumb position. So let's look at this glove here now. There's that position there. When I take it off, my position there with the relaxed hand is my thumb is basically on this first knuckle here on the index finger, and my hand is just relaxed like that. Now when I punch, when I land a punch, my thumb sticks out further, so you can see there where it's sticking out. So if I was hitting a three knuckle punch there, you see I can still land with three knuckles. Two knuckles I can't because it spikes. Now let's look here. So with three knuckles there, I can land with three knuckles no problem, with the thumb sticking up. Two knuckles, the thumb actually lands it. So when I took the thumb round, I can land on two knuckles. So in boxing gloves, you cannot land with two knuckles because the thumb gets in the way. So even if you think if I come in out, people think that they throw a punch horizontally and then they come out vertically and then they turn over and they think they're turning over onto two knuckles. Well, they're still hitting with this part of the knuckle. For me to throw a two knuckle punch, I need to start on the right trajectory of a two knuckle punch to finish the two knuckle punch. I can't throw a three knuckle punch and then turn to two. What gives me the strength in the two knuckle punch, or the kinetic punch, is landing and having the forearm behind the punch. So every time I throw a shot, bang, or I throw an uppercut, the forearm is behind the punch. Let's think about an uppercut now. Normally, you'd see people, they throw an uppercut up like this. Let's put the thumb up like I would. In fact, let's put a boxing glove on. So if I throw an uppercut like this, bang, and I'm coming up like that, what I'm doing there is I'm coming up again with the outside of the knuckle because the thumb's in the position. Now you think, if I'm doing a curl with a weight, then I hold that weight and I curl up I have to hold my hand in the strongest position to do that curl. And that position is straight up in line with this arm, with the forearm behind the fist. That's my strongest position. So if I pull my hand up like this, then the forearm behind the fist is still the strongest position. Now, let's look at the shape of the knuckles, bare knuckles now. Now, in normal, basic bare knuckles, they haven't been conditioned. They've been conditioned, but not that much. So there's no major shape change. So you've got a flat part on your knuckle, and you've got a slope. In boxing gloves, you cannot hit with the flat part of the knuckle because the thumb is in the way. Yeah. So with the slope, the problem with hitting on the slope is it's always sloping, and my hands, whenever I throw a shot, my hands naturally move in. So if I throw a vertical shot, now if I throw a vertical shot there, and my hand is straight up, then what I'm doing there is I'm throwing in and I'm hitting with the outside. That's where all the power is, on the outside of the knuckle there. The more power I can get on a three knuckle shot is on the inside of the knuckle here. Now when I turn that over and throw with two knuckles, kinetically, lining up from the shoulder to the knuckle, then you're looking at a 40% increase in the punch, just because the forearm is behind the knuckle when you land. So in the MMA gloves now, if I just throw a punch like I would in a boxing glove, like most people do, well, everybody does, because they all train in boxing gloves, so they don't land with the two knuckles because they never practice it. They never get to practice it in training because all the boxing gloves they use in training are big and they've got a fixed thumb. So they don't seem to realise that they've got a two knuckle that's much stronger. So if I throw a punch here now, just like a jab and I'm coming out, or you see them, I'll just come out like this and I'll just jab. What I'm doing is I'm jabbing with the outside of this knuckle and I'm just flicking it back and jabbing in. Now if I come over, if I jab out like this and I'm lined up the forearm there and I'm landing with the inside of this knuckle here, that's a kinetic punch. And that'll put 30 to 40% on what you'd do in a boxing punch or if you train in boxing gloves for MMA. Boxing with a glove on, hands up tight, I turn out, I come out and I land. But I'm not, again, if you turn the glove, you can see I'm not on two knuckles because my thumb would be in the way. Do you see what I mean? So, but I think I am. And what it does is it isolates one knuckle in the glove, that's why it makes it harder. Do you see what I mean, in the boxing glove? So if I just hit with, I'll just come over, I'll leave my thumb out actually, and I'll hit with the outside. Yeah, so I'm hitting with the outside there. If I come over in line, like I was showing you before, and because the kinetic chain is in line, there should be more going on because it's lining up the body in a stronger position. So if I turn over to the two, so you feel the difference there? Yeah, there's a significant difference straight away, and that's all I've done is I've come from one side of the knuckle to the other. And let's look at the difference with a standard MMA jab or a two knuckle kinetic jab. That's the outside three knuckle jab. Two knuckles. So you can see there's a huge difference in the amount of power that you deliver, at least 40%.